Good day, my name is Buitumelo. I'm a global trade consultant based in Johannesburg in South Africa. Recently, I posted a video explaining what is international trade or global trade as others call it, which is imports and exports of goods and services. In the explanation, you would pick that I mentioned a few entities involved in an international trade transaction and some of their activities. I just want to highlight though, even though there are quite a number of entities and activities involved in a global trade transaction, there are mainly two legs to an international trade deal. The first one is a finance leg, which is international trade finance as we are dealing with global business. The second leg is the logistics or international logistics as we are dealing with movement of the goods on a global scale. Now, with finance, we're talking about payment for the goods, and this is done using multinational banks or commercial banks. Payment is used to pay for the actual stock and to pay for moving the stock from one country to another, which is the country of origin to the country of destination. Depending on the nature of the relationship between the importer and the exporter, there could be a financial instrument involved to facilitate the deal. Financial instruments such as letters of credit, bank guarantees, foreign bills for collection, etc. The banks have different methods and instruments available to facilitate an international trade transaction. So they play quite a crucial role in a global trade deal. There's also a foreign exchange element in a global trade deal because you're dealing with different countries who have different currencies. So there always is a conversion of currencies from one currency to the other. Now, very important is that commercial documents are produced and presented to financial institutions or banks in order to trigger payment or whether payment is going out or payment coming in. These commercial documents are your commercial invoice, packing list, and your transport documents such as your bill of lading for when the goods are moved by sea. These documents are basic in an international trade deal and they are required by other entities involved in the transaction. The bank could request more documents depending on the deal, on what documents are required under the financial instrument that you are using, and the importer and exporter need to ensure that they are in a position to provide those documents to the bank in order to avoid causing any delays or disruption in the deal. Now, the logistics leg or the international logistics deals with physically moving the stock or product or goods from one country to the other. This is done using services of carriers, which are your trucks, your vessels, aeroplanes, depending on the mode of transportation used. There's also freight forwarders involved in a transaction. They play a crucial role because they map out the route of the logistics. They book space in a container or vessel, and they manage the entire logistics in simple terms. You also have customs clearing agents who play an important role as well to ensure that goods are cleared at customs in the importer's country as well as the exporter's country. So many freight forwarders are also customs clearing agents, so they can perform the activities of moving the goods from one point to the other as well as clearance. In international logistics, you have different modes of transportation. As I've mentioned, you've got sea transportation, road transportation, air transportation, and so it's sea, air, road, and rail transportation. So you've got 4 modes of transportation. And sometimes the deal is multimodal, which means more than one mode of transportation is utilized to move the stock from one point to the other. Now, even in the logistics leg, commercial documents are required and should be presented to these entities to ensure that they are able to trigger movement of the goods forward. And these documents must be clean, presented timelessly to these entities to avoid any delays. I hope you found this helpful. Look out for the next video.